Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone rule well. And salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Now, I got a quick lesson. I just wanted to direct this towards newer brothers in the faith. As a message to don't be so hasty. Don't be so hasty to get the knowledge with understanding, sure, but don't be so hasty uh, to retrieve that knowledge. Don't be so hasty in your judgments. Don't rush yourself and don't try to rush the Lord, to give you the understanding, or rush the men that are over you to give you the understanding. Just don't try to rush things. Try to, as they say, go with the flow, which we say go with the spirit, because certain revelations are going to come to you when you want, certain things you're going to have to wait for, certain answers, certain breakdowns you're going to have to wait for, even certain situations, you might need a car, or um, you might need, uh, you know, um, a place to live, or stuff like that. I just want to let you know not to bug out, not to, not to hasten above the Creator, man. You have to be patient. This thing is about patience, or in other words, suffering. For the Lord. So you have to be level-headed. You know, get all the angry rah rah stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's expected. That's how you say. That's normal when you come into truth. But at some point, you have to learn how to calm it down. You know, this is Proverbs 24:13. It says, "My son, eat thou honey because it is good." The truth represents the honey. It's like the other way around. The honey represents the truth because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to thy taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul. You know, so the scriptures, man. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna smell good. It's gonna taste good. It's gonna be great to figure out you're an Israelite. You're gonna want to know more. You're gonna want to know. Now you're gonna want to know. Who everyone else is. You're gonna want to know. Um, you know, the history out of the scriptures. Now then you're gonna inquire, like, you're gonna ask how can you get on the other side of the line and teach. So it's sweet. When thou hast found it, then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off. And the expectation should be the kingdom of heaven. You know, it's Proverbs 16:32. It says, "He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty." So when you first come into truth, you're angry all the time. But at some time you have to calm it down. And you have to learn how to be balanced. You got to learn how to be calmer in situations in everyday life, dealing with these heathen, especially with the Edomites, man. A lot of times I see brethren, you can tell they're new because every time I see the Edomite, they snarl at them and they get all angry and fussy and, say little slick comments, you know what I'm saying? But stuff like that can get you in a fight. So, you want to calm all that stuff down. Scripture said, "Be ye angry, but sin not." Of course, we know you're angry. You know, your nationality's been hidden from you since before you were born, man. You never knew any of this. So we understand that you're angry, but the rest of the world doesn't have to understand that you're angry. You don't have to make the other nations feel your pain. Because you got to remember, the other nations are above you in society. The police, the so-called white men, everybody's on everybody else's side but you. But yours. So you got to learn how to be slow to anger, because the Lord is slow to anger. You know, and he that ruleth the spirit, than he that taketh the city. So if you know how to control your spirit, you know what I'm saying, you know how to control your anger, you're better than a person that, is able to take down a city. You're more mighty than that person, because you know how to think logically through any situation. And that's what brethren coming into the truth have to learn quicker, which is wisdom. You know, learn how to deal with certain things the right way. You know, because one thing you don't want to do is haste above the Creator. You know, you want the world to end so badly. You want the Edomites to die, or not. You want them to get their judgment. You know, and you go out there and do it yourself, or you go out there and you do something crazy to try and force the Lord's hand into coming. Like, no, it's not about that. It's about suffering in the Lord, which we're gonna get to next. This is Sirach. It's like the second Ezra chapter 4, verse 34. He answered me, saying, do not thou hasten above the Most Highest, for thy haste is in vain to be above him, for thou hast much exceeded. You know? So don't haste above the Lord, man. You know? Because it's vain. It doesn't mean anything. You're not going to get anywhere. Why? Because he's the Most High. You know? So it's not going to matter what you want, what you think, you know? Because the Lord can do what he wants, and he can take as much time as he wants, you know? So it's up to you to calm down and just deal with it, you know? However, how long it takes. Hell, you only been in the truth for a small amount of time, you know? Hell, the elders, apostles have been waiting 30 years, man. You know? So if you feel like that, imagine how they feel. But guess what? They're showing wisdom and temperance in all things, man. You know? Because they've been changed to a lower state, thousands of times. You know, they've been in certain situations. You know, they know how to handle themselves, being in the truth, and that's what you have to learn to do, along with studying. You know, this is Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. This is my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Slakia. My computer's about to die here. Bear with me for a little bit. It says, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. And what that means is don't panic. Go out of your wits end to don't go out of your wits end to make yourself comfortable. You know, go with what the Lord is dealing you with, man. You know, like scripture say, or like the saying says, deal the hand you are dealt. You know, verse 3 it says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Now it says, cleave unto him. And how you cleave unto the Lord is by going through scriptures and by praying to him. You know, you have to pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in order to, to get through the situation that you're going to go through being in the truth. And you have to take it patiently, you know, because there's going to be more hell to come. You know, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You know, so you have to suffer, man. The word patience means to suffer. So you have to take it cheerfully, like, you know what? It's supposed to happen. This was told in the scriptures, you know. This is prophecy. You have to be patient. Because now you're going to say, okay, well, you know what? I got to suffer this. This is something that I have to go through, you know. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable mint in the furnace of adversity. You know, so now he's turning you into gold, what this is saying, you know. Because gold is tried in the fire, meaning you have to, if you pick up gold about the street, you have to burn it to burn all the impurities out of it so it can be pure. So the Lord is testing you for you to become pure, you know? There's no reason to haste above him or to be angry and to try and go do something crazy and do something stupid, or try to force, brother's hands into teaching you something, you know? Because the Lord's going to give you your due measure in due time. Verse 6 says, believe in him and he will help thee. That's what you have to do. Believe in him and he will help you, you know? You need understanding on something, pray for it, you know? The Lord will give it to you when he sees fit. It says, order thy way aright. 1 Corinthians 14 and 40 says, do all things decently and in order, man. So it says, order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. So as that word wait again, which we've seen in the word patience, so now you're waiting again, but you have to believe in him and wait. So that way you attain that mercy and you get salvation, man. At least you fall and go to your death, Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail, which is the kingdom of heaven. That's what you're looking for, right? Not to get some type of payback, even though we will receive payback. But your main focus should be getting that kingdom of heaven, so you getting saved, so you can get that payback. Trying to get payback now isn't going to do anything. Trying to force the Lord's hand and to give you some type of understanding isn't going to do anything. The Lord, like the saying that says, "Good things come to those who wait." It's the same thing in the truth, man. It's even more prevalent or more evident in the truth that good things come to those that wait. Because that's how the Lord deals with His men. He has to prove you to see if you're worthy of the gift that He's going to give you. You know, and you have to prove yourself every day in His truth. This is not a game. You have to really grind. You have to really, you have to suffer. You have to wait. That's what this is about. The world's not going to end tomorrow, even though we hasten the day, and we pray for it to end tomorrow. You have to put things into perspective, because a lot of guys end up eating so much honey or taking so much knowledge and information in, and watching so many videos, and and trying to do too much, and end up vomiting the honey and going crazy, man, and doing some crazy bugged out shit, like trying to force the Lord's hand, or trying to do some really outlandish stuff. It's Proverbs 25:16. It says, "Hast thou found honey?" Which is truth, scriptures. "Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith, and vomit it." So now you got the scriptures. You eating. What I'm saying? You're studying. But guess what? Now you're studying too much. Now you're studying too much. Now what you are doing is you're wearying yourself. Now you're irritated. You're sleepy. You're tired. You know, you're fumbling things. You're not focusing, and that makes you irritated. Now you see an Edomite, and now you're even more angry and irritated. So you not thinking straight because you're tired and weary from doing all so much studying. You go and do some crazy stuff. Something that the spirit does not permit, man. And you end up going crazy from it. So you have to eat honey, and you have to abstain from eating honey, or slow down on the honey. Can't get all that knowledge, wisdom, understanding at once, man. You can't hop in the truth for a day and expect the world to end tomorrow. There's certain things that the elect has to know first. There's certain prophecies that have to come to pass first. You have to learn to be patient. And life is and I know, being patient is the hardest parts of the truth, man, is waiting. In the words of Apostle Bar, man, that's the hardest thing in this truth of ours, is waiting. Well, this is Hebrews 10:30, but you always have to keep this in the back of your mind. It says, "For we know him that hath said, Vengeance belongeth unto me, I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people." So the Lord, vengeance belongs to the Lord, man. So he's gonna pay them back. But he's also gonna judge Israel as well, man. It says, "It is a fearful thing to fall into the hand of the living power, but call to remembrance the former days, in which after you were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions." And that's what you are here for, man, to endure a great fight of afflictions, man. You come into the truth, and then your afflictions start that you have to endure. Verse 33, "Partly whilst you were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly whilst ye became companions of them that were so used. For ye had compassion of me and my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance." So you might be in a situation where you got to give brothers your last, man. That's what's just going to have to happen, because you're going to get 10 times or tenfold in the kingdom. Verse 35, it says, "Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward." What's a recompense? Is the kingdom. "Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward, for ye have need of patience." Let me read that again. "For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise." So after you've done the will of the Lord, you're going to receive the kingdom, man. I'm going to this word patience here.
Strong's G 5281. Hupamane.
Hupamane, meaning steadfast, constancy, endurance. It says in the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who was not swerved from his deliberate purpose in his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials of sufferings. Patiently and steadfastly, a patient, steadfast, waiting for, a patient, enduring, sustaining perseverance. You know, so you have need of patience, man. You know, so you have to learn to take things take things slow, man. You have to learn how to deal with situations. You have to learn how to deal with life, being in this world. And only the scripture can help you do that. But only if you take your time with it, man. Don't be a super sluggard, but you have to balance it, you know. Let's see. Verse 36 says, "For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry." So all you have to wait is a little while, man, and the Lord is going to come. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back into perdition, but of them that believe of the saving of the soul. You know, this is Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled." So you're going to hear about World War III and Putin and Trump, and they're on bad terms, now they're on good terms. Now you got a situation in South China Sea. You got a situation over there in the Hormuz Strait. They're flying drones above each other. They're psyching each other out for war and all this craziness, right? Which are prophecies, But guess what? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, because we still got other prophecies that need to come to pass as well, man. So the end is not yet. Even though we see all this crazy things happening, we see the earthquakes and the in diverse places. We see all the natural disasters. We see the economic collapses, the racial tensions. But guess what? Even the chip is here, man. But it's not forced on a worldwide scale, man. The end is not yet. You know what I'm saying? So what? Guess what we have to do? We have to what? Suffer. We have to be what? Patient. You know? Because our salvation depends on being patient. This is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things." Now what became him? Matter of fact, let me read up the 9th verse, because it's talking about death, Verse 9 said, "But we see Yahushua, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death." So he died a slow death, man. Crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of the Most High, should taste death for every man. For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, which he brought you into glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. Read that again. It says, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. Let me read that one more time. It says, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. So you have to be patient, man. And you have to suffer. That's just what the Lord requires of you to do, man. So we have to go through these situations. We have to go through, living in this world and going out week in and week out and teaching and doing shows and, and studying and dealing with our women and dealing with our children. That's just something that we have to do, man, until the Lord comes back, The Lord wants to see how long you can wait, He wants to see if you're really willing to wait for him to come, or really to show that faith for him, man. That's what this is about. Not rah rah, you know what I'm saying? I hate Edomites, So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone rule well, and salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and truth and in sincerity. Shalom.